All right, guys, so after watching the video with the left-hand trick, we know how to fill in the first quadrant. And what I wanted to do was to show you guys some patterns that you can establish based off of the first quadrant as well. So let's fill in the values in the first quadrant first. All right, so I filled in all the unit circle values for quadrant 1, so 0 to 90 degrees here. And I also put the tangent values on the outside of the unit circle. And because if you recall, tangent is sine over cosine, which in this case, because it's relating to the unit circle, it's essentially the y coordinate over the x coordinate. So 0 over 1 is 0. 1/2 over radical 3 over 2 simplifies to radical 3 over 3. Radical 2 over 2, radical 2 over 2 simplifies to 1. Radical 3 over 2 over 1/2 simplifies to radical 3. And then 1 over 0 is undefined. So from here, okay, we're going to kind of establish how to count in radians as well as the patterns that exist within the unit circle. Okay, so if we count by pi over 6s, and guys, think about pi as like 180 degrees. Pi equals 180, and we saw that in the radians video as well, right? So pi over 6 is essentially 180 divided by 6, so that's why it's 30. Okay, so if we count by pi over 6s, okay, this is the first pi over 6. We skip the one in the middle. It's always the very one in the middle that we'll skip. So it's 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, which is the same as pi over 3, 3 pi over 6. This is going to be 4 pi over 6. 4 pi over 6 simplifies to 2 pi over 3. We skip this one here in the middle. Then we'll go to 5 pi over 6. And then 6 pi over 6 is here, which is just pi. So here we have 6 pi over 6. And then in the third quadrant, we'll continue counting by pi over 6s. So it'll be 7 pi over 6. We skip this one in the middle here. 8 pi over 6. 8 pi over 6, which simplifies to 4 pi over 3 after you simplify the fraction. 9 pi over 6, which simplifies to 3 pi over 2. 10 pi over 6, which is 5 pi over 3. 11 pi over 6. Oops. And then 12 pi over 6, which is 2 pi. All right. So that's how we can count by pi over 6s. And we can count the same thing with using pi over 4, by pi over 4s. But pi over 4s now, we're just doing the angle in the middle, and then obviously the each of the ends of the quadrants, right? So 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4. That's why it's pi over 2. Then we'll end up here, this third one in the middle here. So it's going to be 3 pi over 4. 4 pi over 4 is here at pi. 5 pi over 4 is in the middle. And then 6 pi over 4 is 3 pi over 2. 7 pi over 4. And then 8 pi over 4 is at 2 pi. And I'm just going to fill in the degree values here. So if we count by 30, 30, 60, 90, 120. Skip the one in the middle, 150, 180, 210. Skip the one in the middle, 240. This is going to be on the bottom is 270, 300. Oops, put that in the wrong spot. So this should be 5 pi over 3, which is 300. Skip the one in the middle, 330, and then 360. counting by 45s, 45, 90, 135, 180, 225, 270, 315 is in the middle here, and then 360. All right. And then lastly, we're going to take a look at each one of the how we can kind of use symmetry in the unit circle to fill in the rest of these values here in quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and in quadrant 4.